Hello, welcome back to ECS Coffee. Today we are going to be doing a little bit of a comparison video between the Breville Barista Pro and the new Delonghi Prestigio. They're similar in price point and they both have a traditional and powerful steam wand. So we'll go through some of the differences, some of the similarities, and what you're paying for with each one. And also what customer would purchase each machine as well. We're going to start with just a basic summary of the units and go from there, make a couple drinks out of them as well. So we've got the Breville Barista Pro here. We have the grinder on board. We have a couple of buttons on the front here, including our grind amount, our single shot, and our double shot. We have our grind size selection on the side. And then we have our dial to select either our steam wand or our water spout on the side over here. And then our tamper is just a magnet. Oh, classic Breville. There you go. On the Prestigio, we have our bean hopper up top, the tamping handle, the grind amount, the grind size, your beverage selections over here, including espresso, Americano, and coffee. That's going to be more like your long espresso. Our 2 times will indicate that we're doing a double shot. So on this one, we have a double shot button. On this one, we just indicate by lighting up the 2 times. And then our steam wand activator is just on the side there. So that's very similar. On this unit, I have 32 grind sizes, including, not including some that are actually on the burrs of the grinder. So that gives us some more. And on this unit here, we have 8. So with the Barista Pro, you're going to be able to dial in your espresso to a more specific grind size, meaning that you could get a much better espresso shot than the L'Especialista. That also means there's more room for human error. You might be dialing in your espresso a little bit more if you're new, but they do give you dual wall baskets to help you get a better espresso shot, increase that pressure, kind of like training wheels. On the L'Especialista Prestigio, we have less grind sizes, which means you're not able to dial in the espresso as specifically. You could get a more watery espresso, but it does leave less room for human error. So if you're a beginner to espresso, that's a really great feature. You're not going to have as many options to choose from, which can be overwhelming sometimes. I quite like dialing in my espresso, so I like the more grind sizes, but the less grind sizes on the Prestigio is an awesome feature for new people to espresso machines. We're going to get grinding. I have dialed in both machines for their espresso shots. This unit here, as you can see, does not have the pressure gauge. We're going to be counting the seconds of our espresso, and it's going to be displayed on the screen here. The Prestigio will have the pressure gauge, so we'll indicate on that whether or not we're in a good pressure zone for our espresso. We're going to do a double shot on both. Both machines use the unpressurized baskets or the single wall. So we'll count our seconds on here and we'll hopefully get between 25 to 31. That's your optimal time for your double shot. And then hopefully our needle rises on the Prestigio. So I'm going to grind on my Barista Pro and then I'll grind and we'll pour on the Prestigio afterwards. All right, so I'm gonna get grinding on the Barista Pro. If you've watched our videos on this unit before or any Breville machines with a grinder like this, we're just going to tap our portafilter and hit the sensor on the back. It's going to grind for the indicated seconds here. I set it for 13 and that was a good amount. Okay. I like that this one has a big drip tray rather than my Barista Express at home has a smaller one, so I get some coffee grinds on my countertop. So with this unit, we have the tamper on the side and we're tamping ourselves, which means I have to be sure that I'm tamping with the right pressure, and I've also got enough coffee in there to pour a good shot, which is another way that the Prestigio is different. With the tamping handle, you're going to be consistently applying the same pressure, which again takes away that room for human error. I like tamping and I'm comfortable doing it, but the tamping handle is much more consistent. And with multiple people in the household, having a tamper on the side could lead to inconsistent shots, somebody pulling a better shot than somebody else. So you do need to always be sure with a tamper that you're applying the 30 pounds and that everyone across your household is doing the same thing. Okay, so I'm going to tamp away. Okay. so we're tamped. It's good. I got a right amount in there. Breville lays everything out for you with their tampers and their portafilters, so we're good to go. I'm going to put it up in my group head now and pull my double shot. We'll watch that guy go. Okay, so I'm going to press my double shot button since I used my double shot basket. We're going to watch it pre-infuse, and then we're going to watch it pour. So pre-infusion is about 5 to 8 seconds. Okay, so we poured for 24 seconds. I probably could have tamped just a little bit harder, but we do have a nice espresso shot here. So we have a nice crema in there. It didn't pour too fast, and it did look very creamy when it was pouring. And it smells good. All right, so I'll leave that up there. And now we're going to grind and brew an espresso shot on the Prestigio. Afterwards, I'm going to steam with both steam wands and do a comparison on that. If you've seen our videos on the Prestigio, you'll know that I don't like that it's a very mobile steaming wand, but we're going to do a direct comparison to see the differences in the power as well as the capabilities of getting microfoam, but that's going to be in a bit. Okay, so I'm going to get grinding on my Prestigio now. I'm just going to insert my portafilter in here, and when I click it all the way over, it's going to grind automatically. It's what I've set at my dose level and as well as the grind size. Use my tamping handle. All right, I just needed to give it an extra little push, but we've got it nice and tamped now. It's nice and level. So that is much easier. It also doesn't leave a mess on your countertop because everything's done internally. So it's definitely easier for the beginner, and it's also good for somebody that doesn't want to deal with the mess of grinds on their countertop. It's not that big of a mess, but it's definitely easier and cleaner. So I'm going to insert it now to my group head to pull my espresso shot. I've used the double basket, so I'm just making sure that my ×2 is clicked, and it is. And then I'm indicating that I'm pouring espresso and not Americano or coffee. I'm just going to press OK. And then we'll watch the needle rise up into the optimal zone. So the Breville Barista Pro has a 54mm portafilter, and the Delonghi Prestigio has a 51mm portafilter. How that affects the quality in espresso, it depends on who you ask. Essentially, the larger the portafilter size, the more even coffee distribution you're going to have. That's the theory. From both machines, I've noticed that I get a really nice quality espresso. With the Barista Pro, I'm able to get a smoother espresso because I can dial in the grind size better. And with the Prestigio, it's just a lot easier. And you still get this beautiful, beautiful crema on this espresso shot. And I'll set that guy up here. So on both units, I don't need to do any purging after my steam wand since they do have thermoblock heating systems, which is great, but that means I can't brew and steam at the same time on either unit. I don't personally mind that, so I'm going to go ahead and get ready to steam. Got my milk here, and I'm just going to heat up my steam wand on the Barista Pro. So my dial's just on the side. I'm just going to do a quick purge while I get my milk ready. All right. So the Barista Pro heats up very, very quickly for the steam wand, and it's also a very powerful steam wand and very mobile, which I personally like. that's hot enough now. I'm just going to shut that off. And here's our milk. You can see we've got a nice microfoam. I really like this steam wand. It does create a really nice microfoam and it's not too hard to use. All right, so I'm just going to add my milk into my espresso now. And that looks great. We've got a nice latte here, good microfoam, it's nice and warm, and it smells really good. So I'm gonna steam on the Prestigio now. I'm just gonna give this steam wand a quick purge as well. I'm just gonna turn my dial forward. So they heat up in relatively the same time frame, which is almost immediately as you're ready to steam, it's ready to steam. They have very, very similar steam feels, but it is harder to get a spiral going on the Prestigio because the steam wand is so still. I feel like I really have to tilt my jug to get even the smallest spiral. Oh, there she goes. Okay, so that's hot enough now. And that's our milk there. So it is very similar. There are a few more small bubbles in here, if you can see that. If I give it a couple more taps, it's going to be a little bit better. Ah, yes, that's better. So very similar. You are able to get the same result of the steam with both machines. I just prefer the Barista Pro steam wand because it's mobile. But you are able to produce the same quality of microfoam from both machines. Smells really good. Smells exactly the same pretty much actually. Foam is thicker on the Barista Pro than on the Prestigio, and that would be because of just the steam wand and how I was steaming the milk. All right, so besides functionality of these machines, you can see they obviously look different. We did talk briefly about the pressure gauge versus the screen here that counts down, but they also have different programmability. So on the Prestigio here, you have your My Coffee option. That's the one that you're going to program, and you also have 3 different temperature levels for the machine. You will also be able to customize your dose level and your grind size, of course. On the Barista Pro from Breville, I'm just going to hop over there. To get into any of your programming settings, you're just going to enter the menu, and you'll be able to customize a bunch of stuff here, including your shot volume for your single and double, the temperature as well. It's you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 settings on this one compared to the 3 on the Prestigio. I'm just gonna go back there and set it to where it was before. There we go. In this menu as well, you'll access your flushing cycle, your descaling cycle, and if you've gone around and fussed with all of your settings, you can always reset the values and just have everything factory setting. You can also, just gonna exit out of my menu. Here we're indicating double. If I click here on filter size, which is also our grind amount option, I will change it to the single, and it's just going to indicate that on the screen there. So double, single, and that'll also change the seconds that I have set for my grinding amount. So it is going to be different for your single and double, and that will be saved. They have relatively the same water tank, around 2 liters, and they both have removable drip trays. The Barista Pro will have a little basket in the back to keep your extra accessories and your tools for cleaning. On the L'Especialista, we have our drop-down tray, and then removable drip tray. Both of the machines will need to be descaled as well as back flushed or flushed, and that'll be all dependent on your usage and the hardness of your water. So these machines are obviously, they're very similar in terms of their steam wand. The fact that you would be using mainly your single wall baskets with these machines. The Prestigio only comes with single wall. The Barista Pro will come with single wall and dual wall or pressurized baskets for both your single and double shots. The tamper on this machine is manual, and the tamper on this machine is a handle. So the person looking at the Barista Pro is somebody that does want to spend a little bit of time dialing in their espresso, somebody that wants those extra grind sizes to be able to really get a perfect espresso shot, which you are capable of doing with the Barista Pro at a really good price point as well. The person looking at the Prestigio is somebody that wants to be kind of an at-home barista with that steam wand and maybe do some latte art, but doesn't want to fuss around with the mess that the Barista Pro could give you with the grinds on the countertop. Tamping internally is going to take away any of that guessing work with the tamping pressure, as well as the mess on the counter. If you have any questions about either of these machines, just leave them down below. If you liked our video, be sure to give us a thumbs up and give us a follow if you want to stay up to date with us.